them. We have trees, we have hills. It is very, very difficult for us to show you. Again, Charles, I believe you brought up a program over there. If we can kill that out.
I'm not touching it.
So
there we go.
It is like April 8th, 1998. That was a situation in which we had the extreme loss of life in the state. We never had a picture of that tornado because of the fact that it's at night and the thing was rain-wrapped. We're not going to be able to see much here. But again, we've got Brian coming up Interstate 22. And if we can access Brian by phone, that would be good to have him to tell him exactly where he is. I can almost see, it looks like he is in Jasper now along Interstate 22 coming up in this direction. Brian will intercept this. But again, let's go back and take a closer look at this. We want to look right in through here. And again, we're going to focus on this one spot within the line because this is the reason we're here. And again, the minute we can, we go back to regular programming. The minute this warning expires or the storm has exited the county. So if we can take a closer look at this, Charles, we'll see if we can find within that some strong evidence of circulation. And again, we stress this is part of a line, and trying to identify a tornado within a squall line is a very challenging thing to do. This is not an event like April 27th, 2011. This is not an event like April 3rd, 1974. We don't expect these strong, violent tornadoes. We're not going to have them tonight. But we can have these small tornadoes, and understand those are a direct threat to life, and that's the reason warnings are issued. It can be very challenging trying to catch these. The Weather Service in Birmingham has done a remarkable job of reducing the false alarm ratio. In 2011, 80% of these things were false. Today, that thing's been cut in half. The false alarm ratio is down to 40%. Not so sure it will be better than that, the way the Winter Enterprise works right now in the state of the science. But when you see a warning now from the Weather Service in Birmingham, they are using sound science, and they don't just hit that button randomly to get us on the air or to get warnings out or to get attention. I will assure you they don't do that. In fact, they have done an amazing job of keeping their finger off that button over the course of the last couple of years as we have worked to get down the FAR, the false alarm ratio. So again, this is Marion County here. This is Highway 278. And again, obviously, nobody should be traveling along Highway 278 or still Interstate 22. And Brian, you are on Interstate 22, but not in this zone. Brian, tell us where you are.
Yes, James, I just got off at the exit for 269. I think it's exit 62, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm about 40 miles from that storm, and so I'm not going to be able to see anything this far out. But you do hit the nail on the head with storm spotting at night is extremely difficult, and it's hard to see these tornadoes even in the daylight. Sometimes they're rain wrapped, and of course in this situation with a squall line, we could have that kind of situation going on, James.
Yeah, Brian, what are your thoughts on this? You've been out in the field all day today monitoring the various weather parameters. What are your thoughts on the actual tornado threat tonight?
Well, I think, James, I'd like to think that the tornado threat seems to be down a little bit with the squall line, but of course bowing line segments where the line bows out a little bit, you get the possibility of weak spin-ups, tornadoes in those areas. I'd also like to think that the thunderstorms, the severe thunderstorms we had that moved through the Birmingham metro area earlier this afternoon may have helped to stabilize the atmosphere. So as the squall line gets over into the Birmingham, more into central Alabama, the atmosphere might become a little more stable and change this into more of a heavy rain event. And you mentioned something a minute ago about it is a heavy rain event because this squall line is awfully slow moving as those thunderstorms are racing northward, but the squall line inching eastward.
Yeah, and again, Brian is on Interstate 22. We'll go back to the radar, and again, this is going to be one of these very challenging times, and it's a debate within the weather community. Do we try and warn for these small spin-up tornadoes within a squall line, or do we just let them go with a severe thunderstorm warning and say in the text of the warning, the storm is capable of producing a tornado? And obviously, okay, they just canceled the warning, all right? The warning has been canceled for Marion. So good. We just can't find anything. And so, Brian, thank you. Charles, thank you. The warning has been canceled for Marion County. The danger of a tornado is over. We'll be on our live stream in James Spann 24/7. But now let's take you to Dancing with the Stars.